It's that time again. If you're a real estate agent and you're looking to finally build a business that creates consistent cash flow, but you're concerned about all the market disruptions, relax. You found your safe haven to learn the secret to success. List you last. Welcome to this week's podcast. Hey, welcome, fellow listing agents. Bob Mangold, the listing coach, here with this week's episode of the If You List You Last podcast. Now, as always, thanks for listening, sharing, and downloading. On this podcast, you're going to listen in to one of my coaching calls where I laid out what I refer to as your cash flow score. Now, the concept is simple. Are your daily and weekly activities going to create cash flow for you or not? Now, what I share on this call is just a small sample of the activities agents can or should be doing. So grab a pen and paper and score yourself as I go through this. And just a reminder, before we get started, make sure you join our Real Estate Asset Advisor Facebook group so you can join in on the conversation, share your thoughts, comments, or questions on any of the topics I discuss right here on the podcast. And as always, you can always feel free to connect with me. So go ahead, grab a cup of coffee, a pen and a paper, settle in, and let's get to it. Here's the question for you. If you don't talk with anybody, where will your business come from? I'm not talking about necessarily cold calling. I'm just saying, if you don't talk with anyone, where's your business going to come from? And then the question becomes, what do you do all day? What do you do all week? So I said, what if I put a list of things together? I could make it a longer list. And every week you gave yourself a score. And the score that you end up with is going to be how likely are you to have a transaction in the next 30 to 60 days. So here we go. You ready? 1 to 10. Who sent their database and posted their deal of the week? If you did, get a 10. If you didn't, it's a 0. There's no in between. You can't go, I'm going to give myself a 5 because I thought about doing it, but I didn't. Who sent out and posted a what's happening in your area newsletter to your database? And then posted it in their social media to give them a link? Who sent out an offer to their database to send out 1 or 2 of your custom home boss or EquityMax books? Who sent out an offer to their database to give somebody a copy of the home boss book, which I forget, Marissa, do you remember what we titled it? Something like the Realtor Hacks when selling your home or something like that. We came up with something a little bit more creative lately, but
yeah, it's linked within the EquityMax box in Korea.
And so same thing, the mortgage hack to save $100,000. Do you think anybody in your database would want that? Do you think anybody that follows you on social media would want it? So 1 to 10. Who reached out to 50 agents last week asking to connect for referrals? And then if they said yes, did you set them up on your deal of the week emails, your weekly newsletter? Did you maybe offer to send them out 2 books? Hey, here's what I do for my clients. This way, when you refer them, you know you're in good hands. 1 to 10.
1 or a 10, right?
0 or a 10.
Okay.
Yeah, the good news is on a lot of this, there's not really a mid-level point. I'm going to give you one. This could be a mid-level one. You could actually give yourself a 5. Who created and posted at least 1 video and or reel last week? Here's what you could give yourself a 5. Hey, I started it, but it's being edited, or I'm working on editing it. Who created targeting landing pages and posted it on your social media and sent it out to your database? Things like, hey, golf course homes or homes on the water or,
Downsizing.
Any of that. Did you attend an REIA meeting, an investor meeting, or a networking event? All right. So what did all of those have in common?
Doing something.
Activity.
All that's true. What else?
Sitting in front of potential clients.
Yep. What else?
Possibility of actually making money.
What else? Yep. All true.
Conversation.
How much does it cost to do any of that?
0.
So when people tell me I'm really struggling, so just that part, put your score in the chat box for me.
So you just had 7 questions, right?
That's good. 20. Put it in there while I finish that. So I wanted to do that first because the one thing they all had in common was they were all free. There's absolutely no excuse for not being able to do that, is there? My God, Bob, you don't understand. I hate cold calling and I don't have any money. Got it. Did any of that involve cold calling? Nope. All of it was free.
Got a lady that called me off my LinkedIn for posting as much as I've been posting to it as a buyer.
There you go.
On Saturday. first one.
The key to doing that is not to do it last week, right?
I've been doing it for months.
So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to take this little list and I'm going to post it in the Facebook page when we're done so that you have it. Because what if you started scoring yourself every week?
Good idea.
Because if, let's say you did these things over the next 60 days and you averaged, I don't know, call it a 50 or a 60% score. What that means is you got a 50 to 60% likelihood of having cash flow in the next 30 days. But this isn't 1 week and you're a hero, right? You have a database. Those people may or may not remember you because you're not doing anything consistently. Do you think just because they're getting a deal of the week or any of that stuff that suddenly they're going to go, oh yeah, I got to call them? No, they got to see it consistently. All right, next. This is also free. Who made Sphere of Influence, ISBO expired, circle prospecting, probate, or absentee owner calls? 1 to 10. Now, there's a place in here where you could do like 3 or 4. I did make a couple. 1 to 10. How many business owners did you talk to about adding to your business referral Rolodex? Let's make this simple. This is just your movers, your handyman, your landscaper, your window cleaner, your maid services, your insurance agents, all of that. 1 to 10. Now, what do all these activities have in common?
You're making connections and hopefully we'll get referrals.
Yeah. What else?
When you're getting in front of people and having conversations.
What else? Free. You got the call issue. So if you say like Chris or Tom or whatever, I'm okay. It doesn't matter to me. He's doing something else to get business to talk to somebody. But if you're not talking to anybody, how do you get business? The next one, how many equity boxes did you send out last week to your sphere of influence? Remember people that bought their house 3 to 5 years ago that are going to be more likely to do that? Maybe they were a younger couple, maybe started having kids, or maybe they were an older couple. Do you know what the average age of the first-time home buyer is right now?
36 or 7?
38.
43.
43. Okay, great.
Average age of a home seller last year was 61.
When they're living in their parents' basement for
Some of those things. Yep. But if you've got people that you sold a house to 3 to 5 years ago, are those good people to get that equity box out to? Now, what does that have? What is that? That has a cost to it, right? So here's my question. How long would it take you to do all that in a week? Like those 10 things, there's 10 things there. How long would that take you to do? What do you guys think?
For me, it would be a full-time job. 40 hours a week.
All right. How about the rest of you?
ready that much time or get an
Yes.
well,
Ready to go.
Say it again. How many hours, guys?
15.
Yeah, I don't have an answer for you. Each person's going to be a little different. Here's another question. Could most of that be done by an ISA?
right?
So no real excuse, right? So here's the next question. What did you actually do last week that would consistently generate more business than doing that? Like, what'd you do all week? That would be my question. You don't have to answer that. So now add all those up and punch in your score. And then for those of you guys getting divorce leads, how many equity boxes did you send? Did you send a What's Happening newsletter to them, or a deal of the week, or do any circle prospecting calls, or send out a divorce lawyer letter, right? So we gave you those. How many of those did you do? And what would happen if you did? And then if you're doing all those other things, like what if you went and Facebook friended those people? So only one of you gave me your total score.
Sorry, I had a phone call, Bob.
It's all right. So all it is, guys, whatever that score is, you know, based on that, your likelihood for more cash flow is not great because you're not talking to enough people. So what do you have to do? Kim, they come with them. They're already on them. If they're available, they're on them, or they're on the sheet. So what else do we do? I notice you guys don't want to put that total number in there, do we? Guys, it doesn't matter to me. It's you. It's your cash flow. But here's the deal. Do you think people are magically going to fall out of the trees to work with you? Took a new listing for 400 and you sold 1.06 million?
Yes, sir.
My goodness, man. That's awesome. Congrats.
I just wanted to add one other comment. The nice thing about the $1 million listing is with Ryan Reed, who you remember,
I do.
that was the 5th deal I did with him. But the exciting part was it was a VA assumable loan. I'm telling you, the guy was ecstatic.
As he should.
And the other comment I'll make on is in both of those transactions, one of the parties was being, shall I say, disrupted by the federal government job changes.
Yeah.
The $1 million purchase was for a government person that was selling their house because they had to move one place else.
Is that going to have an impact in it's called everybody there calls it the DMV area? Will that have an impact?
Oh, it's definitely having an impact now. And
Say, hell yeah.
I think it's going to be huge.
It will be huge. Is that a horrible thing though, guys? What do you think?
Heck no. It's the first time they've ever had that issue, and I love it. They finally see reality.
So
And
what'll
it's
happen
way
though?
overpriced.
Those people will
Wonderful.
have to go get private sector jobs, right?
Yeah. That's
What does that do for the economy?
Can be beneficial.
Because a private sector job adds income. What does a government job do?
It drains.
It costs. Yeah, they have money to spend and all that stuff. But guys, I don't care what you think politically. What I've gotten out of all this stuff, the amount of fraud and corruption that's getting uncovered is ridiculous. Long term, that's a benefit. It'll also, if it cuts the deficit, it will lower interest rates. Does that mean that in Fred's market and Stacy's market, they're in the same market? That's not going to be a ball buster for the next year or two. It is.
And I think the other thing other folks in different areas should do is they're also going to decentralize government agencies out to new locations. Like I know Atlanta is scheduled to get a bucket load of people. And also, and I don't know how this plays, they're going to sell off about 18,000 federal buildings.
Right. Thank God.
So
there's all kinds of ramifications to that stuff, folks. Certainly there's some pain point, but there's also a lot of benefit. If they move people from Washington, D.C. to Atlanta and they own homes, what do they have to do? Sell the house in D.C. That's actually a good thing for that market. Then they're going to move to Atlanta. They're probably going to buy another one because they're going to find the housing is a lot less expensive in Atlanta. All that requires activity. Now, there's going to be a lot of government jobs lost in that area, but you've also heard, hey, we're going to bring shipbuilding back to the U.S. Fred, what would shipbuilding do for the state of Virginia?
Oh, down in Hampton Roads and Chesapeake, lower Chesapeake, it'll be an explosion of business.
Literally an explosion. The point in all this stuff, guys, yeah, there's going to be a short-term pain, make no mistake, but there's business there. And if you'll start getting out and talking to people now and start doing those things, those were just 10 simple things I came up with to say, if you did that, just that, what would happen? So I'm going to just post that thing. It's not miraculous. And then, we're not calling it a business plan anymore. It's really a business design. And it's just not I don't want to use the term business plan. It's what's your production strategy? Hey guys, this isn't magic. Like people aren't going to fall out of the trees and come and find you.
It's the term business model, Bob.
Right.
This model.
But here's what I want you guys all to do, because I'm going to have you read it next week. And if you wimp out and say, oh, I'm not coming next week, I'm going to just call it. It could be a paragraph. It could be a couple of sentences. It doesn't have to be long. But if I said to you, what would you had no obstacle, you could create whatever real estate business you wanted, what would that look like? What's your dream? I don't care what it is. Some people could say $1 million a year. Some people could say 200,000 a year. I don't care. What's your dream? Your dream, not mine. Go ahead, Jer.
I was saying the one I'm building now.
What would that look like? Or what's that going to look like when you're done?
It's going to look like I have about half a dozen generals duplicating the home boss system throughout the United States and having massive open houses across the United States. About, I would probably say 8 to 10 open houses every single weekend throughout the United States using home boss. That's what it's going to be like.
And then what kind of income will that generate for you?
I have a 4-tier model that I'm hitting. I'm in tier 2 right now. So once it hits tier 3, just on the commission referral, it'll be about 1.2 million.
Okay.
And then when it hits tier 3, it'll go up to 1.7. And then when it hits tier 4, it'll be about $2 million a year just off of real estate commission before any revenue share on those agents working the open houses.
And then what are you going to do with that money?
You already know what I'm going to do with that.
I know,
money.
but they don't. That's the
A big
point, guys. This is what the dream business is. Everybody says, I want more money. What the hell are you going to do? What's the money going to buy you?
It's going to basically, a portion of that is to help the less unfortunate that my wife and I help, right? In other countries, it's going to help my grandkids, colleges, and way of life. It's going to be a generational thing, right?
And that's why I appreciate you doing this, because I want you guys to understand, like, what is that? Hey, it's great to say I want to do X number of transactions and I want to make that much money. Great. What's the money going to do for you? You're going to travel. You're going to worry less. You could finally start day trading. You could start investing in real estate. Whatever it is, I don't care. It's you. I want to go lay in a hammock on Maui. What are you going to do with the money? The business that you're building, what's it going to give you? Whatever that is for you, if you're not clear on that, will you ever really actually hit anything? So what we're going to start with is, tell me what your dream business looks like. Then I'll tell you how to build and scale it. But if you don't know what it is, it doesn't matter. If you're not like excited about what it is or why I'm doing something, like, can we all agree, if you actually absolutely hate what you're doing, are you ever going to be really successful at it? So if you're going to be able to take and have a business, because you're all self-employed, why not have the business that you would dream about? Logical, right? When you think that through. So I want you to write whatever that is. And then you can tell me, and then we'll start that path about what you do. But the number one thing, folks, it all starts with having to talk to somebody. There's no magic to this. So that's your homework for next week.
Hey, Bob, one thought I came up with was my average price point has been in the 450, 500 for years. I really enjoyed selling this $1 million house.
Yes. One of the things that we talked about, and I'll be honest with you guys, I've been sick for a couple of weeks now. I know I've talked to Frank and I've talked to Jerry and stuff, and we talked about the luxury side of the business. Isn't it logical? If I want to make more money, I can do a couple things. I can work harder and do more deals, or I could do more expensive deals and make more money. Why wouldn't we do that? Why wouldn't we explore that? So it's one of the things you're going to hear me talking about. I'm actually recording another module for luxury. And guys, like, just so you know, I know there's a few people that aren't at EXP here, but the luxury program that we have is like bad ass. All you gotta go, oh, I couldn't do luxury and I wouldn't know what to do. And I would, Jerry, is there any reason for anybody to say that anymore? Frank, are you still here? Any reason somebody should say, oh my gosh, I don't know anything about luxury and I can't do that?
Everyone should be in the luxury program. It just makes it so much easier to get a listing.
Yeah.
With one boss, it's just there are two more tools in the toolbox.
Yeah. And Frank and I talked, I think it was last week. Beaver might have me here, but home base is simply another option for people. Like that $1.3 million listing that he had, was Home Boss the best option? Probably not. Certainly not a 14-day thing, because it was 3 hours. Who cares? But guess what? He had it in his toolbox to talk about, to be able to give people the options. So all that's there. Why not just up the game? Now, Frank, would it be reasonable to say, Jerry, you could answer this too, if you were used to working on, say, $300,000 houses and all of a sudden you went to $1.5 million, $2 million, would it be safe to say you're going to have to up your skills? Yeah. That's it, guys. Want to make more money? Up your skills. This is not rocket science. And then one Jerry, I got a bunch of Jerrys on here. So Bruce Roth, are you on here? Doesn't sound like it. So luxury is another huge one, guys. And Fred, what's the commission on that luxury one? Is it 3?
3, yes.
1.06 million. Boy, that's just terrible that you guys will have to take in cash that kind of check. That's just horrible.
The other side of it was interesting is the listing agent called me up and wanted to know if I could cut my commission
Yeah.
to make the deal work. And the guy is very nice. Don't get me wrong. But I said, Tom, I just don't see why we have to do that. My guy's got the money.
I have the buyer.
And they're happy. Matter of fact, Brian, I told him this. He said, tell the seller the commission to the buyer is not negotiable.
I love that guy.
And he's got 2 sons.
Yeah. Hey, guys, listen, the reason I can say I love that guy, we've sold 2, 3 homes for him. Fred referred him to Michelle. Sold the guy's dad's house, his mom's house, in a plot of land for him here in Arizona.
I bought and sold 2 houses for him back east. This is the third.
And Fred got referral fees on all that. It's not a hard business. We just need to be smarter about it.
Like you were saying before, Bob, everyone really just needs to start focusing on higher price points. You do
Yeah.
less business, it's the same amount of work.
Right.
When I first started in real estate, it was with a Colo banker, and I had a mentor, and she told me, you got to find your sweet spot, what people you work best with. She's like, I work with 250 to 300,000. And she's like, I can sell those houses all day long. And I'm thinking, yeah, you have to make any money.
And folks, there's nothing wrong. It's just whatever people want to do. But my question is, why work harder, especially if we want to make $1 million? You're going to get there a lot faster selling $1 million or $2 million house than you will selling 250 or 300. Whatever luxury is in your market, right? Like in Wichita, shoot, 750 is probably considered luxury here, but you could sell in Wichita. You can get a house for 85, 90,000 bucks. Which one do you want to work? 590, 750.
750 is a condo here.
I know 750 is the casita and a shitty one. So good news, guys. There's a lot of good news coming. There's a lot of good stuff coming from EXP too. There's some stuff I can't tell you about, but it's very cool. And we'll go from there. We're going to talk about how we can produce more and grow that revenue. What's the best kind of income, guys? Anybody know?
Referrals or from your passive.
Referrals are good. Passive is better.
Tax free, even better.
Tax-free passive would be even better. All right, folks, that's it. I will talk to you next week. Dream statements next week. I'll post this thing. I'll put it in a Word format, and I'll post it in the Facebook group for you. Download it. And again, that's not like an all-inclusive list. Hey, Bob, I want to do this or I want to do this. I just put that together real quick just to prove the point. Like, guys, if you're not going to cold call, it's not the end of the world, but then you better be doing some other things. And if you don't have money to spend, none of that requires income. So you better be doing those things. And you better get out and talk to people. You better go sit in a restaurant or a Starbucks or whatever and work and whatever. Start calling your past clients. Like, those should be easy calls. But it all starts with you got to talk to people. There's no way around it. That's it for this week's show. I hope it helps. We'll talk to you next week. And remember, if you list, you last.